businesses. This is a major database used by agencies to develop a mailing list of vendors that can receive bids based on the products or services that you provide. And while there's no cost at all to be a State Hub certified business or to submit an application to become one, there is an annual registration fee of $70 that's paid directly to the state comptroller to keep you active in that directory. Very important. I would always make sure that you do this. So make sure that the key component of making your State Hub certification work for you is to be listed in that directory. You want to be found by these agencies. Next slide. We can go on, Michelle. So getting your application started, let's take a look at it. And again, just like any application, these are going to be the responsibilities of you as your business owner. So any technical assistance in the certification process has to be a priority to the owner. You are the only one that has access to the documents that are going to be required. And again, most applications are the same. Some are done online and some are submitted in hard copy. Regardless, it's an application process, and then you will attach documents that are requested on the checklist. So the owner of the business is our primary contact person. We can't initially discuss your certification with your partners, your CFO, your spouse, your bookkeeper, or your friends. You are the one that has access to all the documentation that's required. We can work with them as they're compiling data, but your signature is going to be required as everything is submitted. The next slide, please. Your State Hub checklist is going to include some supporting documentation such as proof of US citizenship, proof of your veteran status, your Texas residency, your tax returns. Make sure that you have filed for your taxes. It's going to ask for your three most current years. Copies of all licenses and permits that you're required to have as a business owner, if they're applicable. Not all businesses require that. A certificate of formation, your quarterly report for employers, and any and all business agreements. Next slide. And how the MBDA Business Center is going to be able to help you is to provide you with guidance on how to complete the application process. We are going to review your completed certification. We're going to flag it for any missing items or anything that might need additional clarification. And we'll process your application within 2 weeks, which is a very big difference than if you submit it directly to the state comptroller. That will take 90+ days for you to get your certification. Remember, this certification is good for 4 years. When you're about 30 days out from your renewal date, we'll send you a notice that it's almost time to renew. Has everything stayed the same regarding ownership and business location? And then we'll renew you very, very quickly. We're available for questions and guidance throughout the entire certification process, the renewal and processing. And once you get the certification, our business development specialists are here to help you to market that certification, because getting it is only half the battle. The rest is the heavy work comes in making sure that these agencies that you're targeting know that you have this certification and that you are out there and available. Next slide. So once you have your certification, now what are you going to do with it? Go right on, Michelle. Standing out in a competitive marketplace is going to be imperative for you. There's a lot of competition out there. So we are going to provide you with a template and recommendations to build a really strong capability statement if you don't already have one. And a capability statement is like a resume on your business. Quick facts about your company that are going to help you throughout any marketing process. It has a little bit of information about your qualifications as a company. What are all of your codes? Because remember, they're going to look for you by codes. Some past performances on there, your contact information. And this is really going to give you a little bit of an edge over your competition. It's an excellent marketing tool to email to buyers, to email to agencies like the Hispanic Chamber and our MBDA, where we have a buyer supplier page on our website. People can go on there, register what kind of company you have, upload your capabilities statement. So anybody looking for the kinds of products or services that you offer are going to be able to see you. So helping you put that capability statement in place is one of the major things that we can work with you on. Next slide, please. Being proactive, make sure you update all of your marketing materials with your new State Hub certification once you have it. You actually do get a certificate from the State Comptroller's Office that you include with any RFPs, any proposals that you are responding to, especially those that are asking for State Hub businesses. So this is an important document that shouldn't be put in a file and shouldn't be framed on your wall. This should be copied and submitted with every response that you provide. Be on the lookout for sources that are sought, for requests for information, because what's happening is state agencies are looking for your kind of business. They don't know how many are out there and available, so we want to make sure they know you're there. If you're contacted regarding an opportunity, respond as quickly as possible. You're not the only one they're looking at, so you want to make sure that they know that you're there and they are buyers. Make contacts and build relationships. Attend procurement conferences and expos once we're open and we can do that safely. But in the meantime, you can contact buyers, you can contact end users, you can email them your capabilities statement, and you can do it on a regular basis. Believe me, they want to know what's out there. Register your company in all state agency websites. Go to every school district and register as a vendor in their software or their electronic procurement. Go to the city of El Paso, go to Horizon, Socorro, San Eli, all of our surrounding municipalities and register as a vendor. We can help you to get a list together to start you off and show you how to do that. And build strategic partnerships with other companies. Your minority business can be part of whatever work they are bidding on. Companies that are bidding on jobs that are over $100,000 have to submit a hub subcontracting plan. They have to be able to give some of that work to your business. So there's nothing to stop you from contacting primes and letting them know that you are certified and you're available to do the work. Next slide, please. Some of the upcoming events that we hope you'll mark your calendars for. Your chamber is working hard for you. We're doing it virtually and remotely. Just this week, we've had 3 different webinars. Yesterday, we heard from Luke Legate talk about Texas oil and gas industry, what's going on with that, and how can we get involved if there's any way. Thank you for being part of our State Hub certification webinar today. Definitely your tickets to some new opportunities. And then later on today, keeping it clean, prepping your business to reopen will be another webinar. So it may be too small for you to see this print, but give our chamber a call, talk to Frida at the front desk at 915-566-4066, and she'll give you the link to be able to participate in that. We're getting ready to reopen, so let's do it in the safest way possible. Additionally, we have a virtual Mother's Day Mercado on May the 6th. So you don't have to leave the comfort of your home to be able to get your mom a nice gift. We'll have some vendors that are going to be selling. So let's take a look at that if you're interested. And then our networking event that we usually hold in person, but This month, we're going to do it virtually, is on May the 15th at 9 o'clock. So please make plans to be part of that as well. Lots happening at your Hispanic Chamber. Michelle, you can go to the next one. And then here are the directors of all of our technical centers. So this includes myself, the director of the MBDA Business Center. We've had our center for 12 years. Michelle Luevano, the project director of our Minority Women's Enterprise Diversity Center, the baby of our group. This one's been around for 2 years. And then Mary Helen, the director of our Women's Business Center, 19 years here at the Hispanic Chamber. So between the three of us, we can help you to get your business started or help you to grow it through small business certifications, through financing, through any other procurement type assistance. Just give us a call. Our numbers and email addresses are there on the screen.
All right, Terry. So I'm going to go ahead and remind everybody that if you are tuning in with us live, to go ahead and submit your comments via your questions via the comment section. If you're tuning in with us on Zoom, you can ask your questions in a couple of ways. First of all is to go ahead and ask your question via the question and answer panel, which I see a few of our attendees have already done. The other option, of course, is to raise your hand and you can ask your question live on the air if you're feeling a little brave this morning. So Terry, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the questions that we have that were submitted during the presentation. Okay. So our first one up is, what do people need to provide to prove their veteran status?
It is, I do believe it's the DD, it's a DD number. I need to check what that form is. That's a really new requirement or opportunity. So let me check that and I'll get back to you, or we'll make these answers available. I don't have the application that's right in front of me, but it is a document that you receive when you leave the service.
Okay, and then a follow-up question that we received on that is, as far as the veteran status, do you have to be service disabled, and is there a certain percentage as far as service disabled that you have to be?
Yes, you have to be at least 40%, I believe is the number, and it is service disabled.
Okay. And then another question that we have, which it looks like is on the process, is what would need additional clarification? So I guess outside of the paperwork that people submit and the answers to their application, what items do people typically need additional clarification on?
The only thing that I have ever really seen on this is if you don't live in the state, I mean, that's going to be obviously something that's going to hold you back. It really is a very cut and dry application, not so much like the MBE, the WBE, and the federal certs all really do dive into your life and your business. The State Hub is a much faster certification. It doesn't go too deep in. You'll have to provide explanation if for whatever reason you don't have your corporate documents, if you didn't file through the state for your formation. That's really the only clarification. And again, as long as you know your codes, you have an eligible owner that is 51% or more responsible for the business, you operate in the state, you live in the state, and you know where you want to do business, it really is a cut and dry application.
So our next question that we have is, what if we don't have our paperwork that is on the checklist, such as the corporate documents? Where do people need to start? Is there a way around having to provide those corporate documents?
So there's not a way around it. And as you're filling out small business certifications, you have to know these are government documents. They are to provide you with an advantage when it comes to procurement. So you have to go by the book, look at the checklist. If you formed your business by yourself and you did not create corporate documents while you did it, now is the perfect time to set up your foundation correctly. Go to a CPA or an attorney to get your corporate book, to form your bylaws, your corporate documents, anything that's on that list that you don't have. They're important for you to get. And when you try to get a corporate certification, or you go straight for the head of the snake and go federal, you're going to be required to have those types of documents. Unless you are a sole proprietor, then you don't need to have as extensive a checklist of documents. But if you are a formally formalized business, a corporation, a partnership, any of that, you really do have to get all your ducks in a row and make sure you have that documentation in place.
We've got another question that just came in, Terry. Does this certification verify that they are up to date on their state taxes?
Nope. Does it verify? It will definitely look to see if you are up to date, and it will flag you. If you are not up to date on your state taxes, you will get flagged, because once we process it, we do submit it to the comptroller, and they'll look to see if there is a lien, if you owe child support, or it's usually just taxes and child support that they'll look for.
Sorry, Terry. And then what about federal taxes as well?
Absolutely. So answer the question. If they ask you for your income tax returns, which they do, and you don't have them, that's going to be your first flag. So again, make sure all your ducks are in a row, because all it's going to do is cause you to get delayed, not get that certification, and it's going to cause you a lot of disappointment.
So our next question, Terry, that we have coming in is, what is the processing time for the State Hub application?
Well, it just depends. If you go on the State Hub website, you can go and apply directly through the Comptroller Public Accounts. That application is a statewide application. So that means there could potentially be hundreds of State Hub applications in the queue. It could take you between 60 and 90 days to get your certificate once you've applied online. The El Paso Hispanic Chamber, us through the MBDA Business Center, we're a certifier for the comptroller. So we typically can get you your certification within 10 business days of applying, just because we don't have a queue of hundreds of businesses. We can do 10, 20, 30, but it doesn't take us as long to get through the process as it does the state itself. So 10 days from the time that you submit your application and documentation to me, and we review it, make sure nothing is missing, make sure everything is completed, signed, and dated, and 10 days from the day that we get it.
Okay. Next question that we have coming up is, what kind of paperwork would be necessary if I'm an LLC?
Well, there's a checklist of documentation, but it is going to be your proof of U.S. citizenship, your Texas residency. As an LLC, you should have certain corporate documents. It will require your income tax forms, your quarterly employer reports, your bank signature card. It is basic business documentation for all of the different business structures. And that's pretty much it. There is a checklist. We can make that available. We can share it with all the participants that are on the call. There are several that indicate if applicable. So if you don't have it, if you don't have the ones that indicate if applicable, then you don't have to worry about those. If you have ownership in any other business, or if you have outside employment, those are also questions that are asked on the application.
Okay. And our final question that we've got in the queue right now, Terry, is, and I'm guessing that this is in reference to the Mother's Day Mercado, is, do I need to pay as a vendor?
So I don't have that flyer right in front of me, but I do believe that there is a cost. I think it's very minimal. Michelle, isn't it 25 for a member and 50 for a non-member?
I believe so, but I'm not 100% certain on that.
I believe so, but we can also get that answer back to you as well. but I believe it's 25 for a member and 50 for a non-member.
Okay. Well, I don't see any more questions coming into the queue right now. Let me double check our live feed. So that is it for us for right now, because we will be back with you at 2 p.m. for our Keeping It Clean session. We know a lot of you are getting ready to reopen your doors to customers. So we want to make sure that you have the tools and the tips necessary to make sure that you have a clean and sanitized workplace, not just for your employees, but for your customers as well. So thank you so much, Terry, for such a great presentation. And thank you for joining us this morning to share this with all of our members. I think it's especially important as people are getting ready to reopen that they have this information, because a lot of state agencies are going to be sending out contracts and
Absolutely.
for businesses to fulfill those needs.
Absolutely. Give us a call. Let us review your business specifically and see which of these markets you are interested in being part of. All I can do is get you additional opportunities, and that's what we're looking for. And there are lots of opportunities on the horizon. So give us a call. I'd love to visit with you about the State Hub, get you the right application, and make sure that you are able to get it and start getting a piece of that $1 billion pie.
So, and I do just want to note that we did receive clarification. Yes, it is $25 for members, $50 for non-members for the Mother's Day Mercado. Again, Terry, thank you so much. You have all of our contact information on the screen. So if you need assistance with the Texas State Hub certification, other certifications, or any sort of assistance that you need right now, especially at this critical time, please give us a call. You can reach us all at 915-351-6232 or at 915-566-4066. And thank you all again, and we will see you all at 2 o'clock for our Keeping It Clean webinar.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Terry.
Bye, Michelle. Thank you.
Bye.